4-2 formation. Well, change now. We go racing for the first time this season. 3 hours of GT action. It's go.
It's very tight as they come down. Group of cars coming in. This has all got trouble written all over it. There's a G3 car.
Drop downhill there, head towards the Aqua Minerale. Imola, of course. There's another one on through the gravel. As wide as possible as they drop downhill, putting that from the inside line. Yes, he did. Through he goes.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome along to round 6 of the Apex Online Racing Sprint Cup. It's another exciting race, and this time it is a mixture of wet and dry at Monza, so the home of motorsport, and with possibly the most changeable weather we've seen in a little while. The free practice session has been pretty wet, it's just started to dry up, but let's see what it's going to be like when it comes round to qualifying in a couple of moments. So just while we're getting ready for the end of free practice to end, let's have a quick go through the standings from previous rounds. A quick little thing to mention. Very sad to say that I'm afraid JSR will not be joining us in the commentary booth this evening after suffering some hardware issues. So he is out this evening, so please give him some love in the chat, as I imagine he will be watching along from home. So let's have a quick go through. So leading the championship at the moment is Jamie Nuttall. He has been a dominating force the whole way through this series, with a first, a second, 2 thirds, and another first as well. So he's really been the guy to beat. But no doubt, nipping at the heels like a pack of hunting dogs will be the rest of the pack. Yeah, so running in second place now. Here we go, qualifying just about to begin. So let's get that up and going. Who's going to be first out? Actually, Kudeman was actually our fastest driver in qualifying, so Nuttall probably thinking to himself it's not going to be as easy as he hoped. And it looks like Estruche is the first man out the pits. Yes, he is. Right, so on board with Estruche for this first lap. So the track is fast, it is dry. Free practice was in the wet, so these guys will be a little bit out of sorts. Probably have to change their setups immediately. So while they're on their outlet, let's continue on with the championship points. So with the dominating lead, Jamie Nuttall with 446 points at the moment. Mikowski with 327 running in second. Lucas Roda with 297 in third. Jordan Watson 278 in fourth. Goltz with 260 in fifth. Nicholas Hurt with 206 points. He is running in 6th place. 7th is Giacomelli, 196. Cora Shavin in 8th, 170 points. And Alicio Mellis with 157 in 9th. And 10th place is Tim Peachman with 138. So a nice little chop and a change all around the championship. And you can see a couple of the guys furiously trying to warm them tyres up. So as I said, just me this evening, so apologies if I'm a little bit slower on the YouTube chat than normal, as I'll be desperately trying to run everything, a bit like John has in the past. here we go. So coming around the parabolica now. Astrush looking to line up for his first flying lap. Nuttall's dropped off the back of him a little bit to give himself some more space. Track has now gone to optimum as well, so this should be a good one straight away. So flying up towards turn 1. So hopefully it can be a nice clean turn 1 this evening. So Monza turn 1 is always a little bit exciting when it comes to the opening lap of the race. Astrush looking fairly well planted through there. As I said earlier on, Andreas Kudeman actually was our leading driver in pre-qualification practice. So where is Kudeman in the championships? He's running all the way down in 20th place. His best finish so far has been a 7th, so he'll be hoping he can get himself on pole and maybe stick there for the rest of the race. But as I said, it was wet in pre-qualifying, so now the dry circuit, is he going to be able to replicate that? A bit of an odd circuit, I always like to think. Monza's had a couple of name changes over the years. Probably going to say the wrong ones, so I do apologise. He's coming down towards Ascari now. So many fast straights on this circuit. It's one of those tracks where it doesn't seem too difficult, but you have so much time to overthink every single turn that it's easy to get inside your own head. You end up braking a little early or shifting down. Oh, that might have been a little bit wide there from Astrush just exiting Ascari. Oh, nowhere near as wide as Durkop though. Goodness gracious, that was very, very wide. The Mercedes taking advantage of its ability to absolutely gobble up those curbs. So here we go. As Astrush. Oh, big flash of the lights he comes across. He knows he's on stream. Oh, goodness gracious, and Nuttall already up on pole. 0.6 in front. That's a really, really good lap from him. And yeah, there we go. Durkop's lap was, in fact, invalid. We thought he went very, very wide. So Nuttall at the moment managing to hold on to first place. We'll jump across to him as he's still on a flyer. Stunning livery here. Obviously the little peanut on the side, or the monkey nut on the side. That gorgeous bright green and pink on top of that almost fox white, that snow fox white livery. And the great looking little car, and obviously the big Nuttall across the rear wing as well. Really nicely put together livery, that one. So just during quali, anyone going to be able to get close? So Rhoda put in a fairly close time as well. 1:47.847. Which is really good, but I mean, that Nuttall lap, 1:47.3, that's a very, very quick time. Nearly half a second in front of anyone else. And you see time still rolling in. Obviously, a couple of people invalidated their first laps, but everybody appears to be out on circuit. As always, let me know if you're cheering on anyone particular in the group chat. Oh, Nuttall gone very wide there on the exit. He was very, very quick, but yeah, has gone wide. Oh, here we go. A couple of people really up on their times. Kudeman 0.6, and I think, though, that was probably a little bit wide. I imagine that's probably invalidated the lap. Lots of people going very, very wide on the exit of Ascari. So it'll be interesting to see if any of these laps stay valid. I don't imagine they are, to be brutally honest. That was very, very wide. But we'll keep an eye, see if there's any improvements from anyone. Nuttall... Oh no, so Rhoda has an improvement. Durkop put in a great first flying lap. Kudeman puts himself on pole with a 1:47.192. Great effort from Kudeman. We saw him fastest in the practice server. Absolutely fantastic bit of driving from him. So Mirveld up in 6th place at the moment. He'll be very happy with that. He's been a little bit off his standard pace that we've seen in Tier 2 previously. So I imagine he'll be trying to sneakily stalk his way inside the top 10 at some point during this race. McCole, who has been a race winner in the past, currently so far has not put in a lap time. He is out there. Oh, and immediately, first flying lap puts himself into 5th place. Great effort from him. Absolutely fantastic. Beautiful looking livery there. So we'll stick on board with McCole for a minute and just try to see if anyone's really up on their times. A couple of guys actually. Someone actually who looks like making big improvements is Terminen, so we're going to jump on board with him. Our only Lexus, our lone Lexus, standing proud like a lone wolf out on the plains. But it is our one and only Lexus. So running in 12th at the moment, he is 0.4 up on his lap. So we'll stick with him. 0.5 actually now. So the Lexus might do all right. Oh, and the commentator's car has a huge clip of the curb. Goodness gracious, we're going to go back and watch that one again. Just takes way too much curb, and I have never seen a car take off like that over the sausages through there. So we're going to move away from Terminen. He'll be very, very disappointed with that. Immediately gets back out though, and he's going to put in times. So Yang Climbs also on a really good lap. Whereabouts on the circuit is Climbs. He's coming down the back straight now towards the Parabolica. So far our fastest Porsche. And another great livery. Really, really bright. Easy to point at, pick out from the crowd. Oh, just realised Nuttall down to 3rd place. So who's taking him away? Colin Grosso put himself on pole. Brilliant effort. And Climbs is up to 11th place. Pretty decent lap. So where are the big improvers? Where are we looking now? Everyone within the top 5 is either in the pit or static at the moment. Rhoda out on a lap though. He was flicking back and forth between a green. Still pretty early in the lap though. He's got time to make improvements. Oh, a Strush 0.2 up and Jack Young 0.3 up on his lap. That is a Strush relative to the circuit. Oh, actually, yeah, coming down the back straight now towards Parabolica. In that grey. Almost blending into the tarmac in some places here. So down in 16th at the moment. A Strush definitely off his standard amount of pace. We'll see what he can do. It's only going to be a small improvement, but it should be something. And it's not, actually. No improvement for him there. Well, the time was improved slightly, but no grid position gained. So he'll be disappointed with that. Durkop, a man on a mission. We saw him going very wide earlier on at Ascari, but absolutely flying at this time. He was up on his time, although he has just dropped, so obviously a little bit slower on the exit of Ascari than he hoped, but now coming through Parabolica. Very strange corner this. One of those ones that's very easy to wash wide. You go wide too early and then you completely run out of pace on the back straight, although the Mercedes should be able to pull it back. Sprinting like a gazelle up the main straight. Currently in 10th. Stays in 10th position. So people's early qualifying efforts obviously really... Well, to be fair, I mean, look at the times. 1:47.1 from Colin Grosso. That is an absolutely blistering time. And I imagine Jamie Nuttall will be quaking in his boots. The man who has been seemingly invincible all season is possibly under attack here. I mean, we've seen he can replicate it in a race as well, but see, Monza is one of those tracks where lots and lots of people really know their way around it. Oh, someone on a really good one. A previous season's fan favourite is Vince van Meerveld. 0.3 up on his lap at the moment in that absolutely howling Audi. Oh, goes a little bit wide there. That is definitely not his natural habitat out there in the gravel. Just about manages to keep it together on that on the turf. So here we go, down towards Ascari. Again, they have all this time to think about it, trying to line up, get that perfect lap. And we see Terminen just in the background as well, who is again also up on his lap time. So we'll stick with these two. Nerworth as well, putting a good lap at the moment, 0.2 up. But sticking with Meerveld for the moment. Down the back straight, he has got traffic in front. One of the McLarens dives out of his way. Oh, there we go. So Meerveld in 16th. What can Meerveld do? He is up on his lap time. This is going to be a nice little improvement for him if he can hold on to it. 0.3 at the moment. Charges towards the line. Up into 5th place. Massive improvement. Absolutely ginormous improvement for him. He'll be very pleased with that. And Peachman puts himself into 5th as well. Absolutely fantastic effort. Whereas Terminen, down in 18th at the moment, obviously just did not get the amount of time he expected that time round. Who else have we got? Matt York, currently running in 23rd position. But he's 0.3 up on his lap, coming towards the line. They should see a decent improvement for him. Up into 19th place, gets himself inside the top 20. Brilliant effort. Just under 3 minutes left of qualifying now. Oh, Jamie Nuttall, though, 0.2 up on his lap at the moment. This will definitely see him, but it should see him climb into 2nd place. It might not be enough for 1st, although he has just clicked over into 0.3. So really going to depend on whether or not he can keep it together. Kuderman had a slight improvement as well. But here we go, flying down the back straight. It's a very quiet car, the Honda. Has to be said, whenever you're setting your levels and you've got the Honda on screen, you always worry that everything else is quiet, and then suddenly you get an Audi or a Mercedes come on screen, and it's the loudest thing on planet Earth. So apologies if the Honda sound a little bit quieter compared to everything else. It's just the way they are in game, I'm afraid. So Nuttall coming towards the line. He's 0.3 up, and it's a pole position. There we go. Nuttall back on fighting form. Puts himself on pole, and I imagine Colagrosso will be livid about that. Oh, but someone, bit of a dark horse, kept himself pretty quiet. Running a 4th at the moment, Bukowski. He is currently up on his lap time. So is Morgan McCole as well. Another driver that we cannot discount. Very possible that they're going to come flying forward. A bit of a shout out for Jack Young in the chat. He is actually up on his lap time. So let's jump on board with him. Still at the very beginning of the lap, but let's stay with him for a little bit. Currently running in 14th place in that number 155 BMW. There's great big snout on the front of it. It's like a wild boar breathing you down. You just imagine it there in the mist, steam coming from its nostrils as it looks up behind you. And it's a very dominating looking car, this BMW. Absolutely stunning bit of equipment. So just having a little look here, actually, just seeing, apparently, as some of you may know, Jamie Nuttall, his dad actually helps him as a spotter. Apparently a little bit worried about consistency here this evening. But, I mean, we've seen him do some glorious things before, so let's... we won't discount him quite yet. Still on board with Jack Young at the moment. Just comes out of a scurry, keeping it well within track limits. Oh, I think he might have lost a little bit of time there, though. How is he going to do as he comes towards the end? Delacorp in front of him, 0.2 up. A couple of guys as well on some really good flyers. McCole up to 4th. And Jack Young improved here. So final sprint to the line. Currently running in 17th place. He should just have enough time for one more lap after this. No improvement this time round, but this will be his final lap. He's got one last chance to try and get a little bit higher up. People that are on flyers, though, Lucas Roder and Peachman. Where is Peachman running? Peachman about to come across the line. So currently running in 8th. Makes it a short spot. Up into 5th. Brilliant effort by him. Absolutely fantastic. We've lost Peachman. Yeah, he's there. And who else have we got? Roder up in 6th now. Anyone else improvements? Kuderman's still out there trying to improve on his lap time. He's 0.1 up. I could see him in 2nd place, possibly. Could take Colagrosso if he can just keep pushing hard. Again, takes as much off as possible. 3rd place as McCall goes into 2nd place. Brilliant effort by McCall at the last moment. And might not be the first time we've seen McCall come from slightly further down the grid and come forwards. We saw it at Watkins Glen. Really, really good drive by him. Mikowski with a slight improvement up into 6th place. He'll be pleased with that. 3rd row on the grid. Giacomelli also improving still. 0.3 up actually as he comes through the final turn. Again, that Audi. Gorgeous noise. Wailing like a banshee. And up into 10th place. Top 10. He'll be pleased with that. I think that is pretty much everything in Jack Young still out, I believe. Unless he can find some time in this final turn, it doesn't appear that there's going to be an improvement, but possibly... Oh, actually, yes, slight improvement for him as he comes into Parabolica. So we'll see what it's like on the exit. 15th place, great effort. Little improvement right there at the end. Absolutely fantastic effort by him. He'll be very, very pleased with that. Right, so we'll be pushing forward into the main race in just a moment. So there we go. Jamie Nuttall again takes pole position with a 1:47.03. So that's a really, really strong effort, has to be said. I mean, that kind of pace he's putting in is why he is our championship leader. He has been so dominant the whole way through. Right, so let's have a little bit of a run through the grid before we start rolling away. So Jamie Nuttall currently rolling up into pole position. Morgan McCall in second place. Kuderman in third place. Colagrosso in fourth. Dominic Goltz in fifth. He'll be pleased with that. Makowski in sixth place. Tim Peachman, seventh place. Depluy in 8th position. Actually, I don't think he actually called him out when he was out there, but that's a really good effort to get the Mercedes up. He's our leading Mercedes. Great drive by him. Lucas Roda in 9th place. Giacomelli rounding out the top 10. Duracorp, who had mixed fortunes in qualification, saw him up and down the order quite a lot, finished up in 11th position, so great effort by him. Robin Moe running in 12th place. Fan favourite Meerveld in 13th. Jay Fang 14th, that's a really good effort by him today. Yang Climbs 15th place. Noearth in 16th position. Jack Young in that BMW, we kept an eye on him, running in 17th place going into the starting grid. Nicholas Hurt in 18th place. Astrush, quite far down the grid today, 19th position. Oh, do apologise. Terminen running in 20th place. Matt York in 21st. Jordan Watson, again, this is Jordan Watson. He's been very, very quick. In fact, let's just have a quick look and see. I'm sure Jordan Watson, yeah, he's running 4th in the championship. He's at a 2nd and a 1st, so 22nd position in qualification. He'll be very, very disappointed in that. Soldatov, another one of our very quick drivers, down in 23rd place. Thomas Jack in 24th, and rounding out the grid is Mr. Jones in 25th position. A lot of fast drivers, not in the positions you would think they would be. I mean, unsurprisingly, we've got Nuttall on pole. That's sort of becoming quite a normality at this point. But if we look at the weather in that top right-hand corner, you can see in 30 minutes' time, so about halfway through the race, we are expecting rain, and that looks like fairly heavy rain. So we might have a dry start, wet finish. So people are going to try and pit accordingly to that. So people that were intending on doing an early pit stop may now have to rethink their strategy right here on the start line. So if anyone wants more up-to-date timing, obviously feel free to jump on the pit wall. There is a link to that just below this live stream. And live timing as much as you could possibly want, all the data you could get your little grubby mitts on. And obviously the YouTube chat as well. I'll do my very much best to be getting in and out and keeping an eye on what's going on. So thank you to everyone who has already been here and contributing as well. So about 50 seconds before the race starts. Well, there we go. Sorry about that. One of the rubbish bots appeared, so should be gone now. Apologies about that. The joys of live streaming, and for some reason, we always apparently need to be told about Tinder. We all know it exists. It's fine. So about 20 seconds now before they start rolling out for the formation lap. And the Mercedes always gets a really, really good start. So we could see McCall trying to go around the outside towards turn 1. As again, we said it's going to be wet at about half an hour, or at least that's what the weather report says at the moment. So about to begin their formation lap, get some warmth in the tyres. And hopefully everybody will be up and running as quickly as possible. There we go, that's better. For some reason the camera was deciding not to move for a little while. Again, I will say, apologies about the possible changes in audio level. It's just because there's such long straights. When the cars are miles away on the outlap, it's all quite quiet. And as you can hear, it is only getting louder and louder. as they all come up now through turn 1. Hopefully as civilised as this next time round as well. Let's go over to the helicam and have a bit of a look back through the grid. So at the moment we've got obviously the top 5 on screen at the moment. Great little pack of cars, a really nice mix as well. Honda, Mercedes, Honda, McLaren, Aston Martin, BMW, another McLaren. Really the McLaren's actually looking like quite strong here this evening. So basically the Hondas, the Mercedes and the McLarens have all got 2 cars inside the top 10. Oh, in fact actually 3 McLarens. And we've seen them go really well here in the past, especially in the wet. We've seen them out here racing. And they seemingly can just keep going in the wet. They really do seem to handle the tyres. But that was a few seasons ago, last time I saw a wet Monza. So it might be slightly different this time around. So a little bit further back through the grid. But Nicholas Hurt, saw him doing some donuts earlier on while he was waiting for the qualification to start. They're just over with the helicam at the moment. You can see him actually just on the back of Jack Young. Some fantastic liveries on these cars this evening. And that's a lovely shot. You can see all that mid-pack coming down through. And actually there you go, you can see at the back you've got Watson. Second row from the back. He'll be very, very disappointed in that. He says he's a very, very quick driver. So unless he's going from a last to first challenge, which this is definitely not the lobby to try and do it, because these guys are so evenly paced. So still just coming down towards Ascari at the moment. Lovely angle to get a good look at all the cars. Here we are. This is our leading driver, Jamie Nuttall. It's going to be very interesting to see what he could actually do out there this evening. So he knows he has lost a race to McCall once before from a very similar starting position. But I would say Monza and Watkins Glen, very, very different circuits. So starting to stack up now into side-by-side formation. Everyone rushes forward. Final desperate weaves. So we're probably going to go up onto the helicam for the start so we can get a really good view over turn 1 and a decent view of the grid as best as possible. Obviously on my own this evening, so we'll do our very, very best to get as much of the any incidents on replays. But if I do miss something, feel free to let me know in the chat and we'll do our very best to go back and have a little look. McCall very keen, already pretty much side by side with Jamie Nuttall, and they're all lining up. It's an absolutely dominant first 6 cars here. I mean, all of them are. This final run of the line now, coming over the grid positions, waiting on that green light. There it is, green light, and again, you see a great start from both cars. And in fact, the Honda just about getting away, trying to pull across the front of McCall ever so slightly, but not able to. Is he going to be dominant here into turn 1? And also Kuhneman looking up the inside. Everyone being reasonably respectful on the brakes. It all looks fairly clean so far. Oh, there's a rotation there. That was Colagrosso. Oh, there's been quite a large incident. What has gone on back there? We'll go back a little bit. I think most people got through that reasonably. I don't think... Oh, that's a real shame. And yeah, one of the Mercedes there... No, sorry, one of the Aston Martins, sorry, rotated and then stuck. So, little bit of a shuffle going on around here. Currently it's showing Goltz in pole, which I don't think is quite correct. I believe it is Jamie Nuttall still. Yes, it is Jamie Nuttall running in pole. So apart from that sort of turn 1 incident, I think that's most of it. Carnival 303 was running slow then as well, but I didn't see a yellow flag, just a white one. So this top 4 have already broken away from the pack. These 4 absolutely going for it. So Nuttall, McCall, Kuhneman, Makowski absolutely going for it now. And all of these drivers very, very quick. Oh, and actually looking at it now, it looks like Makowski's already looking to maybe try and take away 3rd place from Kuhneman. So we look back through the grid. There we go. Kuhnemann goes a little bit defensive. Mikowski going to try and look up the inside, possibly now. Yes, already looking up the inside through the parabolica. Who's going to get a better run down the back straight? It's going to be Honda versus BMW on that drag. And yeah, Mikowski's got the inside, hasn't he? He's got the inside down towards turn 1 if you can just hold on to it. But the Honda just starting to eke away now. Can he hold on to it? No, he can't. Brilliant drive by Kuhnemann. Absolutely stuck to his guns and stayed out there and managed to hold on to the position. Had a little quick look in the YouTube chat. People asking, we can just let him know who the British drivers are. Jamie Nuttall is a UK driver. Jordan Watson. Who else? We've got Jack Young, Matt York, and I think that is it. That is all of our drivers from the UK. So a predominantly mixed grid. So McCall actually put in the fastest lap of the race last time round. So positions-wise, everyone fairly stuck together. This little battle pack going on here. Oh, something in the background there. Van Meerveld. Was that an incident further back? I don't think it was. But here we go, side by side. Jack Young and Norworth this is. Oh, this is Jay Fang, sorry. Still side by side. Brilliant bit of racing, giving each other just enough room to keep it going, but they're still side by side 2 corners later. And actually now you can see Watson already up to 17th place. He's having a really good opening couple of laps. Really trying to push forward. As we said, qualifying was not good for him. He's just dropped back into the pack now. So finally these cars go one by one. Don't think they were going to be brave enough to try and go through Ascari multiple cars wide. Oh, Jack Young just holding it together, a few of them out there. Oh, and here we've got Meerveld under attack. Van Meerveld under attack from Climbs and Colagrosso. Colagrosso looking up the inside of Climbs. Oh, and yeah, sadly Climbs was the one that lost out the most there, losing two positions basically, and dropped right off the back of the 2 Audis. Brilliant little drive though. My goodness, the cars allowed on this back straight. They're all absolutely nose to tail. Oh, the Porsche gets really close to the back of the Audi there under braking. Car number 6 nearly getting a little love tap, but not quite. Again, Morgan McCall still holding on to the fastest lap, currently running in 7th. This leading 4, they have really started to pull away. They have absolutely dominated away, to be fair. Mikowski is nearly 4 seconds ahead of 5th place. So this... Ooh! Here we go. Moves being made now by McCall. He's all over the back of Nuttall. He obviously thinks he's faster. He has got the fastest lap. He's right on the back of him. Can he do something here on this little straight before the Ascari corner? Sorry, the Ascari chicane. Drops off the back ever so slightly, but he's looking very, very keen to get past. Stalking on the back of him now. Sniffing around the back like a bloodhound. Can he do it? Can he unload the power of the Mercedes down this back straight and fling on past? Zeroing in on him again now. Hard on the brakes into the parabolica. Mikowski and Kuhnemann, they seem to have broken up ever so slightly, letting these guys go just a little bit. Neither of them going defensive. Oh, can actually drop back to a different battle. And that was Deplu, who was 0.1 off the back. And what's happened here? Duacorp has flown up the positions, up into 8th position already. Watson now running at 18th place. So little battles going on everywhere. Oh, and actually into turn 1. Meerveld up the inside of Kuhnemann. Not Kuhnemann. Who am I on about? That is not Kuhnemann. That's Meerveld and Giacomelli. Great little drive by them. Oh, McCall dropped off the back ever so slightly of Nuttall now. So there's battles absolutely everywhere at the beginning of this race. Struggling to get them all on screen as best as possible. Again, not able to quite make it past. We're going to jump back on with our lead battle. Oh, McCall's lost the position to Kuhnemann. What happened there? We missed that. We're going to jump back and see if we can spot it. So we're on the circuit. It says, oh, McCall just goes too deep into that second chicane, it'd seem, and has to go off the circuit. Rejoins, but leaves room for Kuderman. Very, very lucky over those sausage curbs. Luckily, the Mercedes managed to gobble them up, but he is obviously giving it his absolute all early in the race. Very lucky to survive that. As we actually saw earlier on this year in some real life racing, some very, very nasty incidents on that second chicane at Monza, where they are very much airborne. Very much airborne. I think it was which car was that? That was an Aston Martin, one of the flying Aston Martins. It was like something from Duck Hunt as it went flying across the sky. So this lead pack had a bit of a reshuffle now. Kuderman having a chance to run in second place. McCall will probably be very annoyed about that. Looks to the inside actually in turn 1. Thinks better of it. Mikowski just playing his cards. He knows when to push. He knows when to be smart. He's a very, very accomplished racer. But jumping back a little bit now into this battle pack. So this is, basically it's a Giacomelli, Meerveld, Colagrosso and Climbs. All of them are sort of concertinaing back and forth. Meerveld looking there on the offensive. Well, Jamie Nuttall now actually pulled away nearly a second from Kuderman. So this could be his opportunity to break away from the pack. Little pack just starting to relax slightly, although Climbs looking like he's very much on the offensive. We're going to go with Meerveld, and we're actually going to try and do the rear wing. Climbs looking around the outside down towards the Ascari. Can he get it done? They're going to be side by side. Climbs backs out and nearly actually loses a position there to Jay Fang. Fantastic little bit of driving from those guys there. Absolutely stunning work to keep that clean as well. Brilliant drive here. And so the pack now starting to break up ever so slightly, sort of getting these 3 separate packs of drivers. Oh, Climbs goes a little bit wide. Is this the opportunity that Jay Fang needs? He's on the tail. He's going to be in the toe. Yes, he's looking towards it. He's right on the back of him. He flicks to the right-hand side. Going to have the inside for turn 1. Can he do anything with it? Jack Young also having a little bit of a look. And Termanen, they're all over the back. Climbs, and that might have been a little rub between Termanen. Oh, no. And Termanen really was the loser in that one. Really was hung out to dry. He had nowhere to go, and he's lost another position now. Watson actually takes away 16th position, so he is climbing up through. With less than 10 minutes of this race completed, there's already so much going on. So absolutely fantastic race so far. Let's jump back on board with our lead battle for a moment. So Nuttall pulling away, and the main one seems to be actually the battle for the final podium position. So this is Kuderman versus Mikowski. Kuderman had a great start, was really pushing hard, and he lost the position. Well, he took the position away from McCall after that excursion over the sausage curbs, but then he's lost the position again. Obviously, we saw McCall really on the offensive, but now Mikowski as well, right on the back of him. And these 4 miles ahead of everyone else. They are doing absolutely fantastically. Little battle going on behind them, though. We are going to jump back that. Robin Moe versus Peachman and Rhoda. Oh, actually, move into the final turn there. Mikowski takes away the position from Kuderman under braking. Let's see if we can catch that. Here we go, under brakes. Look at that brave move down the inside. Kuderman does give him room. Sensible. Not worth trying to shut the door there. Mikowski was obviously coming through, a brilliant bit, but he's about to lose it again on the back on this pit straight. The Honda just so dominant in a straight line. Not able to shut the door though. A little bit of a squirm under braking. They're going to try and go side by side through the first chicane, giving each other room. Fair play to these guys. And I think the Honda's going to have the legs, although Mikowski really sticking to the inside edge, not giving it up. So side by side now. Second corner they're going to take side by side. I think Mikowski is technically faster over the entire lap, but the Honda is fast where it matters. And he's going to have the inside coming down here. But actually, can he outbrake the BMW? Not quite. Side by side again. Having to give each other room. A little bit of a rub. And Kuhneman makes a little bit of excursion through the gravel. Nothing too major, though. But those guys absolutely side by side for a fair old while there. But in the end, just not able to hold off Makowski. Really well done. They both gave each other as much room as they possibly could. Maybe a little bit of a rub there as they exited that second chicane. But overall, some great racing going on here. So back with this little battle here. So this is Rob and Mo trying to hold off the two McLarens. I'm just trying to see if they're on the same team. They are not on the same team. Very similar liveries, though. And actually, here we go. Up the inside. Rhoda looks to the inside for the Ascari chicane. Whips through. Is he going to get the exit speed? Yes, he is. And actually looking at it now as well, Rhoda looks like he's got a good run. He'll do his best to hang on to the back of the Honda as it flies down the back straight. So Nuttall just about pulled away, about half a second now, actually. But those two drivers have really pulled away from third and fourth place. So it's going to be another Nuttall versus McCole, I think, this race. It's going to be very similar to Watkins Glen. Sorry, I keep reading the word Watson, and it's making my brain confused. So this little battle just opening up slightly now, but we're keeping an eye on them down towards turn one. Who is going to be bravest on the brakes? Here we go. No moves there. Actually, a little something going on in the background there, I think, is Durkorp and Deploy. Sorry, Deploy? I do apologise. So car number 4 there. Brilliant sounding Mercedes. And if you ever get the chance to go and watch any real-life GT3, I do highly recommend it. It gives you a massive appreciation of what it is like in-game. Ooh, so... Oh no! And there's a mistake from Durkorp. Was that just under braking? I think that was just under braking. He just went a little bit deep. Or did he get a slight bump? No, he does get a bump from car number 95. Deploy rolls him, bumps him round. The Mercedes gets itself going again, but he has lost a lot of positions there. He's actually now running just in front of Watson, so that makes him 13th place, I think. Oh, and McCole into pole. McCole into pole. How did we miss that one? Oh, they're side by side still. And he's lost the position there. So we're going to run back on a quick replay. Tries to get around the outside into the Ascari chicane. They give each other room, a little bit of a rub, and Nuttall gets back in front again. But McCall obviously showing he is very keen to get past. I think that was a fair bit of racing by those two. They're two young, fast drivers. But giving each other the respect they deserve. Would have been very easy for McCall to completely just push Nuttall wide, and similar would have been very easy for Nuttall to squeeze away McCall, and possibly going to be a move down here into turn one. Looks to the inside under braking, but just cannot outbrake that Honda. Nuttall gives it absolutely everything he can and gets on the brakes as late as possible. Oh, in about 10 minutes time we are expecting the rain, and then it's dry afterwards again, so it's going to be interesting to see what people do with tyres. And so now looking at, Durkorp went obviously from right up further up in the grid, now running in 13th place. He'll be very disappointed with that. Hasn't been his season this season. He's had very mixed fortunes. Obviously the opener at Spa was a very mixed fortune race for him. Oh, someone who is having a nice little close battle, it would seem, is one Mr. Jack Young, who is close to the back of... Oh no, I think he may have just lost the position to Watson. He's now got Climbs on the back of him. Ooh, Climbs. What happened there? He's gone off. Was that just possibly a little bit of a mistake of his own? So jumping onto the replay now. Yeah, just unsettled the car. Saves it. Really good save there to not end up in the gravel or in the wall or anywhere else. Really good save by Climbs. But he is going to have to get a bit of a wriggle on, otherwise Matt York will be right behind him. So any moment now we are going to see rain. It's definitely got darker out there. Anyone with auto lights, I think their lights are probably going to flick on. Nuttall currently running in first. Still, he's opened up a bit of a lead over McCall now after that little battle they had. So I wonder if maybe McCall's dropped back, just maybe trying to keep his tyres running a little bit longer. Rhoda is having a squabble here with Mo. Can he do something on the pit straight? I think he might be able to. It's going to be right on the back of him. He's in the toe, so that Honda cannot use its advantage of that high-speed top end. And next to each other now, he's going to have the inside into turn 1. Surely he's got this. Oh, and a move behind as well. So that is Colagrosso trying to go through on car number 95 deploy. Did that one work as well? No, still side by side. Had the inside, but wasn't able to actually take away the position. So they're going to be side by side up into turn 2. And say, car number 95, that Mercedes is going to be trying to hold on to it so he can have the inside line into the second chicane. And I think there's a little bit of an overlap, but can he do it under braking? No, he can't. Has to dip in behind. Loses a position. So down into 9th place. And he's got Giacomelli on the back of him now as well. Great little bit of driving. Some really good, clean, respectful driving as well this evening. Always lovely to see. Obviously, we want to see close driving and, you know, people going for those aggressive moves, but it's really good to see everyone giving each other the respect they deserve out on circuit. Some great driver skills. So let's have a little bit of a run through the grids just while everyone is having a bit of a shuffle round. So Golt's currently running in 25th position after we saw that incident on lap 1. He was right up there at the front, wasn't he? But yeah, sadly, running in 20th position. We've got Thomas Jack in 24th, Mr. Jones 23rd, Soldatov 22nd, Astrush 21st, Nerworth running in 20th, Nicholas Hurt 19th, Matt York 18th, Yang Climbs with 17th, Terminen in 16th. Well, actually, Terminen on the back of Watson. So, obviously, Watson started from pretty much near the back of the grid after an absolute stinker of a... he must have felt like bait out there, floundering at the back of the grid, but he's really climbing himself back up. As we said earlier on, he's well up inside the... he's in the top 4 for the championship overall, so we really expected him to be doing much quicker than he is. So Jordan Watson in 15th place, Jack Young 14th, Duracorp 13th, Jay Fang in 12th, Meerveld 11th. So getting inside our top 10, 10th place, Giacomelli closing in on the back of 9th place of Deplu. Colagrosso 8th place, Robin Moe 7th, Lucas Roda in 6th place. So inside the top 5 is Tim Peachman. Good little race from him so far. He's made up some ground. 4th place is Kuderman. Makowski in 3rd. McCall still in 2nd, but has closed right back up onto Nuttall. This might be one to look at. He's on another charge. Again, I think both of these drivers run spotters. So maybe you're sort of having a bit of a case of their spotters saying to them, don't just keep pushing, have a little breather, come back at them, give yourself a little bit of time, let the tyres cool down. If you're pushing really hard on these tyres, you're going to have issues and you're going to have to pit earlier, and they have got rain coming at some point. It should be any time soon. I think he had a really good run, and here is the rain. Madness will surely ensue now. Who has put a setup on that's a little bit mixed? Who's gone for a totally dry one? Little move up the inside now into turn 1. He's definitely put the nose there that time. Oh, I don't think Nuttall was really quite ready for that one. It's going to be a bit of an odd one. That might be one for the stewards post-race. McCall already looking up the inside. I mean, obviously, Nuttall didn't really have anywhere to go and did have to take the emergency road. And I wouldn't say he really gained an advantage. They're pretty much in the same position they were. And again, McCall looks up the inside under braking. Really trying to take advantage and shuts the nose off. Great little move by him. Trying to get in front before this wet weather really sticks in. Can he hold on to it? And that is already a greasy circuit. It's gone from optimum. It's already at greasy. So people are going to be now having some real issues depending on their setup. If they've gone for a totally dry setup, they could be in trouble here. These fast corners really do not favour a totally dry setup when it's wet. So greasy at the moment. Should only be a short shower of about 10 minutes, but it is cloudy afterwards. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But there we go. McCall up into pole position and running with the fastest lap of the race with a 1:47.797. Oh, McCall nearly going wide. So going to keep pushing for now, it would seem. Nuttall just about managing to hold on to the position. Oh, Terminant. I think Terminant's just gained a position. Let's go back down through. Yeah, I think Terminant just gained a position on Watson. Let's go back and see if we can see what happened there. Terminant, another one of our Tier 2 veteran drivers. Oh, Watson just over-pushed it in the wet. Couldn't get the power down out there on the AstroTurf. And the great big thundering Lexus rockets on past. Like a bullet from a gun, he shot past. Oh, Watson again went deep into Ascari as well there. So, did Climbs gain the position on him? Who knows? No, right, okay. People pouring into the pits. Awful camera angle. So, people that have come into the pits so far. Oh my goodness, pretty much everybody has come into the pits. Yeah, McCall, Nuttall, Kuderman, Roda, Colagrosso, Mo, Deplu, Meerveld, everyone's pouring into the pits. It's about halfway through the race. The track is now damp. It's continuing to rain. And in fact, the rain is going to get harder in 10 minutes. So possibly people going over to wets. At the moment, Makowski staying out on dries. But this might have been the wrong move. He was running very well earlier on, but this... So at the moment he's running in first. He is still going to have to complete his mandatory pit. So going to be interesting to see how people come out. McCall did hold on to his position in the pit though, and actually a really good lead over Nuttall now. But those guys are going to be absolutely in the middle of traffic. So Morgan and McCall, oh no, saying that, they are right next to each other. So turn 2, they are already side by side. Who's going to get their tyres turned on quicker at this point? McCall is going to have the inside line running into that second chicane. Can he hold on to it? Nuttall's seen the moves that have been made here before. Oh, in the wet. They're desperate to try and get the cars to go. The track is still damp, so if they're on wet tyres, they're going to have to be careful they don't overheat them too quickly. They could really see their tyres drop off towards the end of the race if they push them too hard. But these two swapping places, Makowski into the pits as well. We expected it. Oh, look like the rain is actually now going to be decreasing in 10 minutes. So some of these guys might have to pit twice depending on how long they can make their tyres last and how long this rain lasts. Peachman into the pit, Fang into the pit, Jay Young into the pit as well. Matt York, Hurt, pretty much everyone looking like they're trying to get their pit stops done at this point. So obviously they have to do one mandatory stop for tyres at some point. Oh, Nuttall getting a little bit sideways on the exit of Ascari. So the only person that hasn't come into the pit so far is Giacomelli. And let's see how he's getting on out there in the wet. Deciding to go another lap. Oh, and he's really down on his time. 2.5, 2.6 seconds down. That's probably a mistake from him to stay out as long as he did. Where is Makowski? Where is he coming out of the pits? Oh, that extra lap. Oh my goodness, that might have been a really good move. Is he going to be able to take over second position? I don't think so. Nuttall's going to have the run on him down into turn 1. But there we go. Makowski hangs on to third position. Great little pit manoeuvre from him. And he's right on the back of this leading pack now. Brilliant bit of driving. So going that extra lap apparently did all the wonders. And the Kuderman's right on the back of them as well. So there we go, about 35 minutes of the race. Oh, Strush gets a stop, go 30. Obviously sped in the pit lane. He'll be kicking himself for that one, running in 10th place. And oh, and Jack Young gets a drive-through. Presumably going to be for track limits. What happened there? We had one of our... Who was that had the stop, go 30? And it's just disappeared. Did that driver leave... Who was that? I missed that one. Typical. Well, Giacomelli's still out there. He's really down on his lap time, though. He's going to be kicking himself that he stayed out there a little bit longer, I think. So, these two are about to re-inherit the lead. So it is McCall currently running in first place. Nuttall in second. And Makowski going to be running in third. Oh, there we go. Jay Fang with a drive-through as well. Is this a case? Oh, Strush had the stop-go 30, so thank you very much for letting me know. Strush. I think he's gone. I think we've lost him, which is a real shame if that's the case. Always sad when people leave. Yeah, there we go. So got the stop-go and has decided to leave. So there we go. Jay Fang and Jack Young, both J's with drive-through penalties. Morgan McCall. Oh, but look at that. While we were looking at all of those things going on, we missed a change for position here. And I didn't go far enough back. So obviously through Parabolica, Mikowski took away second place. So the old guard, it would seem, trying to show the new guys that they're not quite as quick as they thought they were. But he has now lost the position back. Typically went back to watch one. Went back to watch one incident and missed another one, so that's how it goes, sadly. So Mikowski will be disappointed with that. He did gain the position, but he knows now that he is possibly... Oh, mistake there from Mikowski. He went very deep into that second chicane. Jack Young into the pits now, doing his drive-through. So let's have a little look back and see if we've got anyone else that is really closely bunched up. Looking like Hurt, actually, is having a nice little battle. Yes, he is. Great battles going on in the background here as well. Oh, Watson looking up the inside. Doesn't get the move done. So this is the battle for 17th position. And that Ferrari really struggling in the wet now. He is losing ground. Oh, there's a McLaren in front of him now, recovering. I think that's Hurt. Yes, it is. The stop-go 30, the reason why it is the stop-go 30 for speeding in the pit lane is, I'm pretty sure that is what it is in the official racing series. So, obviously this being the official game of the Fanatec GT World Challenge. Oh, mistakes left, right and centre here. The car's sliding everywhere. Goodness gracious. So this is, God, who is this battle? This is, it's not Terminant. It's Watson again, isn't it? It is still Watson. Where has Watson gone on my screen? Yeah, there he is. He's still apparently the car we're looking at, but the camera's just a bit odd for a moment there. So Watson and Soldatov, these two having a squabble in the wet. Oh, Colagrosso looks like he is starting to close in on the back of Rhoda. McCall's starting to pull away a little bit now. 1.7, McCall pulling away. He'll be pleased with that. Oh yeah, Singular Fish, powered by WS. Oh, sorry, AWS, of course. Jay Fang doing his drive-through penalty as well now. Still, everyone all over the field, really closely packed together. And it did come up for a little moment that Climbs was in a good little battle, but that seems to have passed. Someone that's made great ground since it's been wet, Mr. Matt York. Yorkie of YouTube fame. Another one of our Tier 2 veterans. He's been here a little while. He is always a great driver, clean and competitive. I'm saying currently running in 12th position. Got himself a nice little run there. And another season not in the Bentley, as he moved away from the Bentley. I think he's run the BMW in one of the endurance seasons. But yeah, running in the Aston Martin this season. A really good sort of base car, to be fair. It works on pretty much every circuit. It might not be the very fastest, but it's a really solid platform. Oh, mistake there from Kuhneman, went really deep. Oh, we're going to see a move here. On that rear wing in the wet, and I imagine Rhoda will be able to see absolutely nothing. Oh! And he goes right the way around the outside. What happened there? Kuhneman gave up 2 positions. So, not sure why he did that, whether he got his braking point wrong, but he was over to the left, sorry, over to the right, so off the racing line, and seems to be really, really struggling for pace suddenly. So possibly issues for Kuhneman. He seems to be really struggling. That car looking very, very unsettled. I wonder if maybe he gambled on dry tyres. Just keeping a little eye on him now on that sort of helicam so we can get a good sort of aerial view and see if the car looks slidey. And it does. It looks very, very slippery on the exit of turns. So Kuhneman would be very disappointed with that. Lost 2 positions on turn 1. It'll be interesting to see whether he can regain some pace, whether or not he may be having hardware issues or something. So McCall still running in pole position. Let's jump back on board with him quickly. And still running fastest lap as well. Oh, got to be careful though. That was very, very wide. Very wide on the exit. And that will give Nuttall a chance to possibly start reeling him in. Giacomelli into the pits. So close battles. Let's see what we got. Oh, Soldatov. Where is Soldatov? He is 15th place at the moment. He's got Watson right up his chuff. I mean, regarding disconnecting or... Oh, massive slide! Massive slide from Soldatov then. Oh my goodness, he managed to hold on to the position. How on earth he managed to hold that? I have absolutely no idea. That was insane. Great slide. I imagine some of these guys are going to have some brilliant replays that they'll be able to watch back over themselves later. Absolutely fantastic bit of racing there. Great way to hold on to it. So this little battle going on here for 14th place is nothing shy of furious. I think almost suddenly the Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift music came on to play there. Right, so through turn 1, these guys survive another turn 1. A little bit of a gap building up between them now. 0.2 as they cross the line. Who have we got? Colagrosso looks to be trying to close up. So Colagrosso, yes, he is all over the back of Roda. In fact, let's have a little bit of a... Let's do some onboard shots, shall we? Let's have a bit of looking over the back. Do apologise about that. Quickly sorting out the... Oh, another big slide there from one of our drivers. Massive slide from Colagrosso. Loads of people on the exit now of Ascari, really struggling to keep the car planted in the wet. So at the moment, the top 3 seem to have settled into a bit of a groove. We said McCall running in first position. You can see our top 3 there on the pitch straight. Nice little gaps building up between them. 4th place is Tim Peachman, who's had a quiet race so far. Kept himself out of trouble and really just pushed forward nicely. Lucas Roda obviously has Colagrosso on the back of him. We saw these guys getting very close together down towards the Ascari chicane. But was not able to make a move on the exit and got a little bit too much speed and made a big old slide from Colagrosso. But possibly going to make moves here again. So let's, from Roda. So apologies, eardrums, but looking over the rear wing, you can see how much spray is coming off the back of Roda's car, and Colagrosso has got to try and close up on the back of him, get close enough to make a move under braking somewhere. But at the same time, somehow managed to keep his eyes open and be able to see. Always a hard decision of how close do you get in the wet. Obviously, if the driver in front makes a mistake, you have absolutely no time to try and adjust. But actually, Roda gets a much better sector 2. So coming down now towards the Ascari, going to keep looking over this rear wing for the moment. Very, very evenly paced here. Are we going to see another big power slide from one of these drivers? Oh, very, very, very wide from Colagrosso, and that has definitely lost him the advantage that he had. someone that is climbing back up through the order again is Jordan Watson. So still on the back of Soldatov. These two have had a nice old battle most of the race long. So we did see Watson a bit further up the grid earlier on when it was dry. Another massive slide from Soldatov. He's going to have no rear tyres left, surely. I know it's wet and you can't really damage them too badly, but goodness gracious, what a slide that was. And he's now lost a bit of speed. Can Watson do anything under braking here? No, he can. Oh, actually, yes, he can. Soldatov continuing to brake and going a little bit deep. Very close to rubbing. And it's going to look like the Aston Martin. They might have the legs on the back on the pit straight. Can he get in front of him? Get in front of Watson again before turn 1 and close him off? It's going to be a real hard run. Oh, clips the grass a little bit there on the left. Both on the brakes. What we're going to see? No, Watson dips back in behind Soldatov. So Soldatov managing to hold on to this position again. Position for 15th. They've slightly overlapped a couple of times, but never quite able to make sort of a big change. I just want to give a quick shout out to the YouTube chat. Mini Simeon, I see you in every single race chat. Thank you very much. I hope you are a member of the community. Jump on the Discord. It's a great little community. Even if you're not racing, there's some really good little discussions going on there. All links to the Discord are in the description below this stream. So yeah, you know, when the stream's over, maybe give us a check out. If not, apexonline.racing. Another great community. Jump on with us. Oh, did we just see a disconnect? I think we just saw a disconnect from Soldatov. Yes. So after all of his efforts, Soldatov has just disconnected. I just saw him fly off the screen. And a car that seems to be limping around as well. Is that Audi? What Audi is that? Is that Giacomelli? That is Giacomelli. Oh, and Climbs off as well. I think that is. Let's try and find Climbs. Yes, it was. We're going to go back and watch the replay. So where on the circuit was this? Looks like it's down towards the Ascari chicane. Yes, it is. Gets on the brake. And what happens here? Similar to earlier on as well. Oh, and another victim of the sausage curbs. Does keep it off the wall, though. That's a good effort. Just looks like it took a little while to get the car going and very hard to rejoin. Oh, a little bump from on the back end there as well. So Climbs now dropped back down the grid. He's battling with the other Porsches. That's going to be battle for 19th or 18th place? 18th place. So Porsche versus Porsche now. Climbs had some really great pace, just the consistency in the wet has been a real issue for him. And he'll be disappointed with that. Soldatov into the pits. So has he rejoined? He has possibly rejoined the server, although I don't know whether he's going to be actually able to rejoin the race at this point. But fair play if he's come back in. Really fair play after that. So, up front, Morgan McCall has made the absolute best of the wet and is now 5.2 seconds ahead. Nuttall is now under attack from McCoskey. So young gun versus the old guard. The fresh buck versus the well-aged stag. So we've seen Nuttall be dominant all season long. I mean, even if he's on the podium, yeah, it's another great finish for him that is going to definitely keep him well within. Oh, apparently Nuttall had a bit of an upsie at the Ascari. Okay, missed out on that one. Probably a little bit too far to go back at this point. Thank you, YouTube chat. Thank you very much, Singular Fish. We say well-aged stag. Basically, yeah, he's a tier. He's been with AOR a fair old while, whereas Jamie Nuttall, this is his first Sprint Cup. So a young buck, a young deer, and then a well-aged stag. He's been with us a little while. He's matured. He's got experience. This is why you don't see him always making brave, silly manoeuvres. He's very consistent with his driving, and it really does show. I mean, that's why we keep seeing him up here. At the front, just his racecraft is pretty astounding. Right, let's have a little look and see what other battles are going on. I think Mikowski is just hanging on to the back of Nuttall, not pushing too hard. There's about half a second between them, so don't think we're going to see a change of position anytime soon there. Seeing who else is close. Duacorp, who's running in 10th place. Oh! Meerveld off in the background, going a little bit wide. Managed to hold it together. Oh, actually, no, saying that. Goltz with a really nice little battle going on here, I think. Yes, Goltz versus Climbs. Obviously, we saw Climbs go off earlier and went flying. That was on the Ascari chicane. Ran a little bit too much inside curb in the wet. So two very, very different cars here. Rear engine, rear wheel drive of the Porsche versus the very much front-engined rear-wheel drive of the Aston Martin. So with about 17 minutes left in the race, track is still actually fully wet at the moment. So everyone going to still be on wet tyres, and I imagine they will stay on wet tyres all the way to the end. Good little run there. So actually in the cockpit with Goltz as he goes around the outside, not able to. Is he going to be able to get the switch back here? Not quite, but he might have a good run. Oh, if he can just control the oversteer. And he got a little bit out of shape. And he's not able to do anything there, I don't think. I don't think we're going to see a move here, but I think actually we have a back marker in front of us. I think that might be Giacomelli running in front as the back marker. I might be very wrong there, but that does seem to be an out-of-position Audi. Oh, Goltz getting right onto the back of Climbs. It's going to be mightily close down towards the second chicane. The flying left-hander, both cars able to go absolutely toe to the floor. Are we going to see a move here? Oh, Mikowski as well, looking at the timing board, has really closed up on the back of Nuttall again. So back marker's possibly going to come into play. Bit of a run here from Goltz, going down the inside. Good run. Can he do anything under braking here? Not quite. Climbs putting the car just where it needed to be, just tight enough to unsettle Goltz, but not enough to actually cut him off and cause an incident. Really good little bit of racecraft there. So really smart driving. So sometimes it's not necessarily a case of completely slamming the door and stopping a car from getting past you. It's just putting your car in a position where they feel uncomfortable to make the move. And again, down through Ascari, holding on to their positions. No changes as of yet. So jumping back on board with this battle for second place. They've just come through the first chicane. And you can see Nuttall was pulled away a little bit again. Actually, it has to be said, Tim Peachman is catching up with the back of these two. He's doing a really good effort to catch up with them. Under 15 minutes of the race left. Track has gone to officially damp conditions now. So might start to see some people suffering with tyre degradation. We said before, Mikowski's got quite a lot of endurance racing experience as well, so he's used to being able to make the car last over the full hour period in possibly less than ideal conditions. So it was Dominic Goltz earlier on, wasn't it, that battle that we saw get really close? Oh, and he has actually passed Climbs now. Made up the position. They've made it past the back marker of Giacomelli as well. Giacomelli, obviously, again, 7th place overall in the championship, so he'll be very disappointed with this. Goltz, 18th place, and he is 5th place overall in the championship. So there are some big championship contenders a long way down the grid at the moment. Lots of drivers really not in the positions you would have imagined them to be. We see Soldatov still sat in the pits at the moment. So I think that disconnect, and then obviously had to go back to the pits, or it may have just been a massive lag spike and he ended up in the pits. Oh, Mikowski, half a second between them. You can see actually now cars driving off the optimum line, trying to keep their tyres cold as they possibly can, or keep them cooler, as the track's already damp. With 13 minutes of the race left to go, we are definitely going to see some people struggling with tyre temps towards the end of this race. Let's jump on board with Roda versus Colagrosso. This is battle for 5th position. Colagrosso's still got the wipers going, so whether that's just to deal with spray, I'm not sure. Or he hasn't got it set to auto and he's just forgotten to turn them off in the heat of the moment. Luckily, running the wiper doesn't actually affect too much of the speed of the car. Maybe just slightly distracting, unless he's just looking right through them and not even noticing them. But here we go through Sector 2. Colagrosso definitely looking like the aggressor here. So while this rages on, Terminen as well seems to be having good little battles. Let's jump back on board with Terminen, who... Has he already made the position? I think he's already made the position there, hasn't he? He has. We missed it. We completely missed it on the timing screen. As always is the case. Oh, Colagrosso, again, we've moved away, and these two now... 0.2 between them. See that little puddle? They're desperate to get as much moisture on them tyres as possible, trying to make them last as long as possible. So the battle for 5th place rages on. Colagrosso in that car number 44. Going to see if he can get a run here on the pit straight. Makowski as well possibly had a good run. He is in fact actually closer than these two. Oh, a little bit of move up the inside, not able to make it work, just backs away again ever so slightly. He's still looking like Nuttall running in 2nd place at the moment. Makowski not able to take advantage. But all the while those two squabble, Peachman will be rubbing his hands together, hoping that those two slow each other down just enough to catch up, because to be fair, Roda and Colagrosso are also really pushing forward. They are not only battling, but they're really putting in some good lap times. In fact, actually, yeah, they're really, really lapping incredibly well. Morgan is still the fastest guy out there currently. It's almost like a flock of pigeons sat out there on the outside. I know it's the polystyrene sign, but it looks almost like a flock of pigeons just sat there. Out in the gravel. I'll have to get someone to put down a couple of decoys. It'd be lovely bit of scenery for the drivers as they go round. So down through the Ascari, these two absolutely stuck nose to tail. Let's go on with Roda and let's do that rear wing shot that we love so much. And you can see there that Roda did get the slightly better run. Actually, you can see the amount of spray still coming off the back of the car. So no wonder Colagrosso is still running that wiper flat out. Still a lot of spray coming off there. The track is damp. Just under 10 minutes of the race left to go. I don't think he's quite close enough to be in the tow. Although he should be. And two very, very similar cars. So maybe a move into turn 1 might be on the cards. He's getting very close. He's running out of time to do it, though. He's being forced to the outside. Hard on the brakes. Has he got the overlap? Ooh, sort of, yes. Oh! And he did have a slight overlap, but not very much. So, dearie me, not what he would have wanted. I imagine Roda would be pretty upset about that. Not a very big overlap between them two, and to try and take the position away there was a bit risky. Probably should have stayed on the brakes a bit longer and just conceded the turn. But that is not for me. That is for the post-race officials to go through if it is reported. So on with our leader, Morgan McCall, currently running 7.3 seconds out in front of everyone. So after finally breaking away from the grid, he is putting in an absolutely fantastic effort after getting away from the clutches of Nuttall. Finally managed to mask his scent. So the bloodhound that is Nuttall could not catch up with him again. So Nuttall still running in second place, sorry. Mikowski right on the back of him as well. Again, you see everyone dipping over to this right-hand side of the circuit. That inside, you see that big puddle. Although Mikowski doesn't, trying to just gain as much straight line speed as possible. So little close battles going on. Norworth seems to be having a little battle with someone. Who is that? That was with Goltz. He was within half a second for a little while. Yang climbs, trying to make some ground up again. You know, someone I expected to push maybe slightly further forward this race was Watson, but I think the wet weather really hurt him. As we saw in qualifying, he didn't have the best qualifying, and he had a really good first half of the race, but then second half, once that wet weather kicked in, I think it was just a little bit too slippery for him, and he wasn't quite able to maintain that same pace. Oh, who was that in the background? That was, I believe, Thomas Jack, having a little bit of a squirrely moment. So, oh, battle that's going on here again. Roda versus Caragrosso. These two at it. So let's go back and see where this all kicked off. So this is down into turn 1. That first chicane. He caught right up with the back of that McLaren very, very quickly. And let's see what he can do. Anything now. He can run round. He has a better run. Has to have the outside. Oh, big bump as they went down towards that second chicane. That was a huge collision between the two. Car number 44 goes a little bit deep and ends up nudging them out. So the continued squabble between these two, and they are going to have to be careful. They really don't want to take each other out. I know they both want to get the position, but they could end up losing a whole lot more. And also could end up facing post-race penalties as well if they don't keep it clean. Side by side again down towards the Parabolica. Possibly looking for a switchback here. They're going to jump in the cockpit looking forward. Absolutely loud as anything. Can he do anything down towards turn 1? He's right on the back. He's in the slipstream. Roda looks to the left. Can he do anything under braking? Going to try and go around the outside. Not able to, but I think... Oh, it was a mistake from Colagrosso. Went way too deep there. And let's have a quick look back on that with the helicam. You can just see Colagrosso outbrakes himself. Ends up going over the sausages. He's going to have to give that position up. Realistically, I think he's going to have to give that position up because he definitely gained an advantage by taking the excursion. So he's going to have to give him room, and he's squeezing him out again. He's really pushing him out. Colagrosso really desperate to hold on to that position, but I think post-race he's going to lose it if he doesn't give it up now. It might be better just to give the position over and not face a post-race investigation. So these two squabbling on. Back up to Greasy now. Just over 4.5 minutes to go. I think Colagrosso is starting to struggle on his tyres. I think the conditions are not going his way. He's out really wide into the gravel. That's a lost position for certain. So Roda finally gets the position. And I imagine that's probably the way it's going to stay. Roda now able to open up the taps a little bit and try and get past. So about 4 minutes left of the race now. These two finally not squabbling. Who else have we got? Who else is close? Norworth again. That little battle keeps appearing. So this is the battle for 18th place. But then every time we cut to them, the gap seems to be ginormous. So whether or not this is ACC's timing screen playing games with me, I think it probably is. It loves to do that. Has to be said, I think that that Aston Martin is carrying a little bit of front end damage. That front bumper looks to have quite a big gap between that and the bonnet. So this is where tyre pressures could really go all over the place. Oh, actually battle at the front. We spoke about it earlier on about Tim Peachman being able to close up on the back of some of these guys, and he is now right at the back of Mikowski. So how is this one going to come? Again, Mikowski, really strong driver, knows how to race well, but Peachman is on an absolute charge at this point. With just under 3 minutes of the race left to go, it is still 100% possible for him to make it past. Under braking down to Ascari, nothing there. What's it going to be like on the run? In fact, let's jump on with Mikowski. Let's do that rear wing, and you can usually see if people are catching up or not. So on the brakes. We're just managing the understeer slightly there. I think these tyres are starting to get fairly warm. But Peachman, about half a second off the back, or just under half a second, but not able to really be within striking distance. These guys should have maybe 2 laps left, including this one. So there's still definitely time for moves to be made, but it didn't really appear that Peachman made any ground on the pit straight, although they're under braking into turn 1. Massive, massive gain from him. And that bollard from the... Oh, who is this? Duracop in the background. We just caught the back of him there. Yes, all over the back of Mo. So this might be one to look out for. Duracop's wiper is still absolutely going guns blazing. So Mercedes versus Honda. This one definitely starting to heat up. So under braking down into that second chicane, not able to make a move there. Still unable to make a move. Sticking on the back of him. Duracop going to be putting the pressure on him all the way to the finish line, I think. Nothing really between these guys. 0.3 of a second last time through the timing boards. Yeah, still 0.3 of a second. Peachman about half a second off the back of Mikowski. We'll keep an eye on those timings as well. And cut him if we need. And there you go. Oh, Colagrosso gets himself a drive-through penalty. That'll be for track limit abuse, I presume. Here we go, though. Duracop, really good run out of Ascari, all over the back of the Honda. Oh, lots of people going very, very wide in this final section of the race. I say they're all going to have 1 lap left. Colagrosso will be devastated with the drive-through penalty this late in the race. Duracop trying to go around the outside of the Parabolica. Fair play for keeping it round there the whole way. Managing to keep the power down as well. Hoping for the excessive speed of the Mercedes to hold him through. Well, that Honda is not going to give up. It is no slouch in a straight line either, and the Honda is going to have the inside into turn 1. It's going to be who's bravest on the brakes here. What are we going to see? Oh, a little bit of a rub, and again a little bit of a touch. I think Duracop realised he was maybe at fault there and just tactically gave the position back just enough to let the car go through. Oh, we are going to have to change positions because the battle there, Peachman was 0.016 behind Mikowski. So this is the final lap. Are we going to see a change of position here? I don't think we are at this point because they've opened back up a little bit. And that Duracop battle as well is really heating up. The battle for 7th place. We'll keep an eye on that as well. Try and keep an eye on Nuttall as he comes across the line. McCall as he comes across the line. It's become such a habit of saying Nuttall. But that's a... Oh, Duracop nearly into the back of the Honda there. This is going to be their final time through the Ascari chicane. Can they possibly do it? Can Duracop close in enough under braking, or can he get enough speed on the exit to possibly take away the position on the exit? Throws the car in. Fair play for getting the Mercedes to turn in like that. I mean, it's such a great big goat of a thing. When you try and throw it in, sometimes it really doesn't turn. But here we go. Absolute run to the line. I'm actually going to have to cut across to our winner. As Morgan McCall going across the line in first place. Nuttall coming across in second. Makowski in third, Peachman fourth, Rhoda fifth. And who have we got there? We've got Kuderman sixth, Mo. Are they going to cross the line now? Yes, Mo hangs on to 7th place, Durakop in 8th, Deplu in 9th, and Meerveld in 10th. Great race by all these guys. And I see still a fair few of the guys coming across the line as well. Colagrosso about to come across the line. The track never went fully dry, it went back to greasy at the end. Nicholas Hurt coming across the line there as well. Fantastic. So a couple of guys now. Termanen coming across the line in 15th place. Watson up into 14th place, I realised, just before the end of the race. Great effort by him. Who have we got here? We've got Carr. This is Noworth, who, again, we saw having a few close battles and actually might lose it just before the line. Not quite. Manages to hold on to it. That was very, very close. Thomas Jack coming across the line. And Giacomelli in the beaten and bruised Audi. So he did not have the race he would have wanted, I don't think. That's a real shame for him. But the main thing is, the winner this time round was Morgan McCall. A great, great finish. Jamie Nuttall coming across the line in second. And Makowski coming across the line in third place. Really, really strong effort by all those guys. We will see if any of them want to join us in the commentary box. They may do. Looking at the championship going forward, pretty sure Jamie's going to stay right up there. It's going to be another great jump up for McCall. He's actually only been able to compete in 2 other races, so it should be a really good effort for him. Oh, yes, we go. Here we go. We've got someone in the commentary booth. So 2 seconds, and I will grab someone in. Let's just change over to a slightly nicer screen than just looking at the pits. So 2 seconds. There we go. That should be no music playing, but let's drag in. Let's press some buttons. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, obviously.
Hello, mate. Another fantastic race for you again this evening. Obviously, 3rd position after starting in 6th, I believe. How did it feel? The car looked like it was pretty settled, and when it rained, you didn't seem to lose too much sort of pace and composure. What sort of setup were you running this evening?
First of all, I'm kind of surprised that I'm actually finished on P3 because yesterday in a practice race, it was a horrendous and tragic experience for me. And well, like I went with the dry setup, obviously, because I didn't have anything for wet. I was shocked and I was kind of scared because I haven't driven this car with 0 wing with on the wet. And
you were
well,
running 0 wing on this car in that weather.
Yeah, and
Wow.
you probably saw that when I was trying to fight Jamie in a Honda. Well, it was just depressing.
Yeah, I mean, that Honda was absolutely furiously fast in the straight line. I think the only car that really seemed to be able to take the fight to him was Morgan McCall's Mercedes, especially in the first sort of 10 minutes of the race. Those guys were absolutely at it like wild dogs. So really good to see that McCall managed to make it past, and basically a repeat of the Watkins-Glen race, where McCall manages to get past and holds onto the position. I'm trying to think what this is going to do to your championship standings. Looking at them now, you were running, well, you're in 2nd place in the championship. I presume going to probably be staying in 2nd place, as Jamie Nuttall is absolutely flying away from everyone at the moment. I think there is a 119 points gap. So, bit of a gap there, but definitely put yourself in good position to hold on to your 2nd place in the overall championship. And another podium finish, which is absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
I'm trying to think, where are we going to next? Next time round is Kailami, I believe. Let me double check.
Yes.
It is Kailami. How are you feeling about the BMW there at Kailami?
I heard that the car got massively nerfed there, and it's kinda mediocre. And well, like we will see. To be honest, like I haven't tested it yet. I only saw just lawyers little bit complaining about the car in other series, but well, like we will see. Obviously, Honda will be the best car with Porsche, and well, like Jamie will just go and secure his championship, and I will just try to stay second. That's my goal, to be honest.
Well, I think the next man in the championship behind you is Lucas Roda, who finished 5th this evening. Hang on, wait, let's just double check I'm looking at the right numbers. Yeah, he finished in 5th, and then it was Jordan Watson in 4th position in the championship. Actually did not have the race go his way, ended up in 14th place. So, guys closely around you, you've gained a little bit of ground, I think, this evening. It's gone quite well. So Goltz, another guy really close to you in the championship, didn't have a particularly great race, ended up in 17th. I think that actually was an incident very early in the race. I think he actually got rotated, if I am not mistaken. Yeah, because he qualified in 5th, so he was sharing the 3rd row with you. And he actually got rotated. So you were very lucky to get through turn 1, didn't get caught up in that incident too badly.
Yeah, I saw it on Heli Corsa, and well, like so lucky, so lucky.
Yeah, it was very good. But to be fair, very clean race overall. Everyone seemed to give each other plenty of racing room. And it's been another great one this evening. My voice is pretty much dead, so I'm probably going to call it a night in a moment. But thank you very much for joining me in the commentary booth. Again, you are the only racer that is consistently joining us, so it's nice to have a familiar voice come and join me in the booth.
I will try to convince Jamie after Kalami to join, because he's basically right now a champion, so he should actually go and join and to talk a little talk.
Yeah, he only needs to come in and just take the round of applause, and then if he doesn't want to say too much, that's fine. I'll probably shoot him a message myself and let him know, because I think at this point it's pretty certain he's going to win the overall championship. And it's the final next week, everybody. So get ready to get your racing boots and your gloves on, sit down in front of the TV with a big cup of tea, and get ready for another fantastic race at Kailami, with slightly less straights than this evening. So, right, thank you ever so much for joining me. And I will do the final sign off. Thank you ever so much, mate, and hopefully you do well again next week.
Bye.
Cheers. Right, so as I said, it is the final round next week at Kailami, another great circuit over in South Africa. I do apologise, someone earlier on actually asked me about the South African drivers in the championship, and I do apologise, I forgot to mention that. It was Morgan McCall, who else have we got? Kristen DePlue, Kieran Patterson, and who else have we got? Pillane. And I think that is it that I can see. A couple of these guys haven't actually started with us this season, which is a bit of a shame. I say, because they're very fast drivers, obviously made it into Tier 2. But right, thank you ever so much for joining us. Hopefully John will be back with us again next week. If not, definitely we'll be back for next season. As we said earlier on, bit of a hardware issue, so you've had to put up with the lowly voice of me this evening rather than our leading man. But thank you ever so much for joining. It's been an absolute pleasure commenting. And yeah, onwards to next week. Obviously, check out the Discord, links below, and feel free to watch back, make clips, share anything you want from this stream. Always appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys, and we'll see you next week.